Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're digging into electric vehicles, or EVs.
That's right. We've got a list of common questions, maybe some misconceptions you might have heard.
Exactly. Our mission is to sort of unpack the reality behind these ideas. We're using a list of frequently asked questions as our main guide today.
Sounds good. Where should we start?
Let's jump right in with a hot topic, literally. Do EVs actually catch fire more often than regular gas cars?
Yeah, you hear about this one a lot. It's interesting because, well, any car fire is serious, of course.
Right.
But the data we have actually shows that gasoline cars, internal combustion engine vehicles, have fires far more frequently per mile driven.
More frequently. So why the perception about EVs then?
It might just be that EV fires are newer, maybe more novel, so they get more media coverage when they do happen. It sticks in people's minds.
That makes sense. The unusual gets the clicks. Okay, next big one. Range. People worry they can't drive far enough. Is that true for, like, daily use?
Well, think about how far most people actually drive each day. Usually it's not that far, maybe 30, 40 miles.
Yeah, commutes, errands.
Exactly. And most new EVs easily offer over 200, sometimes 300 miles of range on a charge. So for day-to-day driving, it's generally more than enough.
So range anxiety might be a bit overblown for the average driver.
For daily driving, I'd say so. Longer road trips still need a bit of planning, sure, but that's getting easier too.
Okay. Let's shift gears to the environment. What about the batteries? Aren't they, bad to produce?
That's a really important point. Manufacturing any car has an environmental cost, and batteries do involve mining raw materials like lithium and cobalt. That has an impact.
Right, the mining aspect.
But you need to look at the whole life cycle. Compared to drilling, refining, transporting, and burning gasoline over a car's life, the overall greenhouse gas emissions for an EV tend to be lower.
Even including the battery production.
Yes, especially as the electricity grid gets cleaner. Plus, battery technology is constantly evolving, and recycling processes are really improving.
Good to hear progress is being made there. All right, practical question. Can you drive these things in bad weather? Rain, snow.
Oh, absolutely. EVs go through all the same safety testing as gasoline cars. They're designed to handle different weather conditions.
No issues with the electrical components.
Nope, they're very well sealed and protected. In fact, some EVs perform even better in slippery conditions because their weight distribution, that low center of gravity, can help with stability. And the traction control is usually very responsive.
Okay, so weather isn't a barrier. What about speed? Are EVs kind of sluggish?
That's definitely a myth these days. Quite the opposite, actually.
Really?
Yeah, the electric motors provide instant torque. That means acceleration can be really quick, right from a standstill. Many EVs can easily outperform comparable gasoline cars.
I've seen some videos online. They do seem fast. Okay, how about reliability? Do they break down more?
That's another area where EVs often have an advantage. They have far fewer moving parts than a traditional engine and transmission.
Like no oil changes, things like that.
Exactly. No oil changes, no exhaust system, fewer fluids. Generally, less maintenance is required. Of course, any car can have issues, but mechanically, they're simpler.
Less to go wrong, potentially.
Yeah.
But finding a place to charge, is that still a big problem? Shortage of stations.
The charging infrastructure is definitely still growing, no doubt about it. It's not as dense as gas stations yet.
So it can be a challenge sometimes.
It can depend on where you live and travel, but it's expanding rapidly. And remember, most EV owners do the majority of their charging conveniently at home overnight.
Right, waking up with a full tank every morning, that's a big plus. Now, cost. Are EVs just for the wealthy? The sticker prices can seem high.
They can seem high initially, and yeah, the market started with more premium models, but we're seeing more and more affordable options coming out now.
And you have to factor in running costs, too.
Precisely. You need to look at the total cost of ownership. Electricity is usually cheaper than gasoline per mile. Maintenance is lower. So over the life of the car, an EV can actually save you money.
Makes sense to look at the long game. What about the big picture, the power grid? If everyone suddenly switches to EVs, won't it just collapse?
That's a valid concern, and it's something utilities and grid operators are planning for. It won't happen overnight, first off.
Right, it's gradual.
And there are solutions like smart charging, encouraging people to charge during off-peak hours when there's less demand on the grid. Plus, grid upgrades are happening anyway. It requires investment and planning, but it's seen as manageable.
Okay, so not necessarily an overload situation if managed properly. One last thing. What about utility? Can EVs actually tow things or haul stuff like a gas truck?
This area is developing fast. While maybe your standard small EV isn't designed for heavy towing,
Right.
we are seeing electric trucks and larger SUVs coming onto the market now with really impressive towing and hauling capabilities, very comparable to their gas counterparts.
So electric pickups are becoming a real thing.
Definitely. The technology is proving capable for workhorse tasks too.
Wow. Okay. So we've covered quite a bit. Fires, range, batteries, weather, speed, breakdowns, charging, cost, the grid, even towing. It really seems like a lot of the common worries are either outdated or, well, not quite the full story.
Yeah, the technology has moved quickly, and the reality on the ground is often different from lingering perceptions.
So as we wrap up this deep dive and thinking about how fast things are changing, what aspect of EV evolution do you, the listener, find most compelling or maybe still have questions about as we look ahead at the future of getting around?
It's definitely a space to keep watching.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.